Hello again, it's Tom here and welcome back to Magic Woodworking. So today I've got two products from Ryobi. Now I love them or hate them. Every once in a while Ryobi do come out with some rather ingenious tools and I think they've done it again. So you've got a latch cutting jig tool, whatever you want to call it, for interior doors, and a hinge jig for your router for interior or exterior doors. And both have some really clever little features, and quite frankly I think they're really useful and handy tools. So if you'd like to see them in action, stay right there and let me show you how they work. So let's go through the features of these two products from Ryobi. Now firstly, let's look at the latch tool or jig or whatever you want to call it. So it's designed to cut out the faceplate of a latch, which is what you'd find on an interior door. Now you will have to drill the hole for the tube with a 25mm flat bit, but once you've done that you then take this tool. Now what you do, it has a fence which allows to do two different sizes of doors. One is 1 3/8 and the other one is 1 3/4, or in new money that is 35mm and 45mm. 35mm is the standard in the UK, which is what I've got it set for right now. You'd push it up to the edge of the door, take a hammer and strike it in these two places. You may have to hit it 3-4 times just to get it to dig in well. Once you've done that, you then flip it over, and this part here is like a chisel. So you then put that in the hole, take your hammer and hit the back, and it will go along and chisel out the two parts for the plate, which in itself is very good, and this should just drop straight in. But as an extra little feature, what it's also got, you may use it, you may not, but it's nice to have it. It's also got two screwdriver bits, so you can actually screw it in at the same time. So yeah, in all, a nice little idea. So that's for the latches. Now, the hinge jig. It's to be used with a small router. And again, put it on top of your door, and actually I'll start again. This block here allows you to move it to whatever size hinge you've got to work with. So from what I call a 3-inch hinge or a 75mm to a 4-inch hinge or 100mm. 75mm you'd put it there, 100mm you'd put it there, and this actually goes up to 125mm or 5-inch. So you just move it along and it's perfectly set every time. Also, if you have the hinges that have a rounded corner, it has little insets inside there which you can put in to actually do the corners round as well. Next, it has the router cutter, which I will say is a little bit firm to get out. So it even comes with its own router cutter. And these two indents here and here, when it's in your router, will allow you to set it to the correct depth. You don't even have to mark that out. You literally just put it in your router, push it down to that depth. That's for shallow hinges. Yeah, that's for shallow hinges. That's for deeper hinges. And you're done. And then to finish off with, I should actually mention, this is probably its worst point. This is the clamping system, which is made of plastic, but it seems to be strong enough to do the job. And then to finish off with, we have, excuse me, using a screwdriver to pull it out with, a drill center finder. So basically, I don't know why you can see this, as you press it in, there's a drill in the center. All you do, when you've drilled it out, you put that in there, instantly finds the center, and you drill your pilot hole. So it even comes with the drill. So all in all, I think it's quite ingenious little products. Now I will say, These are bought by me. I'm not sponsored by Ryobi, and I haven't took no money for this video. This is just, once again, an honest review from me, telling you what I think of these products. And as I say, you might like Ryobi, you might not. Well, that's up to you. But once in a while, as I said, they do come up with something half decent. And I actually worked in a door company for 7 years, so I'm a little bit of an authority on the matter. When it comes to hanging doors, this saved me 2/3 of the time it normally would to chop in a latch. And this saved me 2/3 of the time it would normally take me to do a hinge. So that in itself is a big time saver, and if you're a carpenter and joiner like me, time is money. But anyway, enough about that. Now let me demonstrate them being used actually on a door. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this video and you'd like to support me, as always, please give it a thumbs up, or better yet, subscribe down there. It really helps me out, really helps the channel, and makes YouTube show this to more people like yourselves who have never found my channel before. Anyway, enough about me, back to the video. So here I have a scrap old door so I can demonstrate the two jigs for you. So to kick off with, let's have a look at the hinge jig. So remember to set the size of the jig to the size of the hinge, in this particular case 100mm. Remember, don't over tighten it, because there's, I don't know why you can see this, there's a screw right about there, and you will leave a mark on the door if you over tighten it. But you shouldn't need to tighten it up too much anyway, because there are rubber shims to stop it moving around. So, put it on the door, tighten it up. Now remember, don't over tighten it, just enough so it doesn't move, like so. Take your router cutter, set the depth, which I've already done, as you can see. Remember, wear safety glasses. And one final step, put the router in the jig before you start it. Don't start it and then put it in the jig, otherwise what will happen is you'll either catch the jig or catch the wood and ruin it, and yeah, I've had it happen many times. So, start it in the jig. Let it slow down, stop before you remove it. Right, once you've done that, take the jig off. You'll need to take a chisel and just square out the corners. Just very tiny little bits to come out, as you can see. And once you've done that, the hinge should fit perfectly. I have to excuse my chisel, it's a little bit blunt. There's the hinge, and as you can see, that is a perfect size. Now, the drill that comes with the jig, put it in the hole, it will find the centre automatically. Of course, it's sprung loaded. That's all the holes drilled. And then literally, you're ready straight away to screw it in. And just like that, you're machined for a hinge. Now I think you'd agree, that was pretty quick. The lock jig. First thing you need to do is get a 25mm flat bit and bore into the door to the depth of your latch. As these are old hollow doors, it doesn't take a lot. Next, take your latch jig, make sure it's set to the right size, place it in the hole like so and tight up against the door. Then you need to strike it here and here rather firmly to leave a mark. Don't be shy about it. Once you've done that, in fact, actually, I'll give it one more just a look. Or two. Right, so you now take the chisel part of it and put it in the hole like so. A couple of small taps. And as you can see, it cuts it and breaks it out. Turn it round, do the same the other way. Again, breaks it out. Take your latch, and as you can see, drop it in the hole. Small tap with a hammer, and that is a lovely size. And then next, you can drill it, and you're all ready to go. So, conclusion, are these jigs worth buying? Yes and no. It really is your choice, but I'm going to break it down for you now. The latch, tool, jig, whatever you want to call it, I think is a good bit of kit. It could do with some sort of depth gauge so you don't go quite as deep sometimes. But apart from that, that's about its only failing, and possibly this could be a little bit sharper maybe. But it is a good tool. Like, you saw how quick I've done that latch. You know, unless it's oak, which you might struggle in, but as I say, standard softwood doors for the DIYer, yes. And for the tradesman, I'd say yes. I'd give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. You know, maybe even 9 out of 10. It's a good product. Yeah, so this, I would say, is definitely worth the buy. I believe it's about £29. I'll leave the link in the description to Amazon so you can go and have a look or purchase it if you like. Now the Ryobi hinge jig. Now this, I'm only going to give this a 7 out of 10. And barely that. And the reason for that is a couple of points. Firstly, let's pick out the good things. The good things is it's robust. Yes, it's good solid plastic. I like the way you can adjust it from 3" to 4" to 5", whatever, nice and easy. As you saw before, it machines the hinge nice and tight. The router cutter itself is nice and sharp, does the job with the bearing. The depth stops work great, and the center finder drill, also great little product. I also like the way you can do rounded corners, but it definitely has some pitfalls. First one being this plastic clamping system. It does the job, but it's going to wear out in time, obviously, and you probably end up having to replace it with something metal. It's something Ryobi could be thinking about. Next is this screw. I don't know why you can see it on camera. Again, if you over tighten it, which you shouldn't do, but if you happen to, you would leave a mark on the door. So again, not a great thing. But now we're coming to the major flaw in this. As I said before, I've used this a few times on different doors and whatnot, and the larger hinges it's great for. No problem whatsoever, perfect. DIY market, commercial market, brilliant. Where it fails is on the interior doors, which we do a lot of in the UK with a 75mm hinge or a 3" hinge. It machines it too deep. Now, I believe this is designed to work with the American market because their hinges are wider. But for the UK, European or Australia even, yeah, it's not going to do it. Ryobi need to make some sort of adjustment so you can bring the width of the hinge in. Lengthwise is fine, it's just the width. So I wasn't lying when I said you can do interior doors, you can, but you have to use a larger hinge. So if you're looking at using smaller hinges, bear that in mind. Like, I'll probably make some piece of wood or something to make it work, but you shouldn't have to do that, especially at the price, and this is the other pitfall. This at £29 I think is a bargain, yeah, on Amazon. This on Amazon the last time I looked was about £49, which is a bit excessive. I believe you can get it cheaper, but you have to look around, look for the sales. But yeah, for that sort of reason, that's why I'm giving it a lower rating. It does the job, it just needs a little bit more work from Ryobi. Anyway, with that said, hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, bye bye.